Down home, that's why I think from them, every time I want to say, hey, I've got my oh, it's simple, I'll fall. Change the voting week with your that's what I'm gonna talk about that. On that HB 50 handgun bill for the 18-year-olds. No permit, no background check, no instruction. Just a driver's license.
Yeah, so what it is, they're going to have to show it to me what type of audio and equipment you use.
Oh. This is nice. Oh shoot, I'm alive. Well, you think you could take so long?
No, that's nice. Okay.
But the other thing is before the you have to like before the
How you doing, sir?
That's a good right. That's true. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Says what?
Somebody flower me today.
Oh, wait, how you doing? All right.
So the count was what? 59. So
Okay. Yes, indeed.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Oh, she said we were.
My story, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. I didn't go into the top report where it was.
All right, how you doing? Right.
So we'll.
Hey, how you doing? All right, all right.
This really works. Got 4 minutes. Yes, indeed.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay. 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 Gotcha. Okay. I got you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? Do I need to use the microphone? Well, we know that this is an informal.
It's not on.
Working a few minutes ago.
It's on there. Okay. Well, we are excited that you're here, and we want to start on time. That is very important because we expect to be here maybe an hour. Before we get started, would you please stand and let us do our pledge of allegiance? It's on the back wall. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and you can be seated. At this time, we're going to ask our assistant principal to welcome you.
Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. We want to welcome you here to Tarboro High School.
We appreciate your engagement. And on behalf of our principal, Mr. Hopkins, we welcome you once again. Please feel free to ask a staff member if you have any needs or need to be directed to the restroom. So at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting back over to Dr. Wilson.
We're going to do a little different from what we did Tuesday evening. We did not introduce ourselves as board members. Dr. Hanlon Bryant is our superintendent. Most of you know him. Raymond, would you start us off?
Yes, I'm Raymond Privet. I represent District Number 6.
Evelyn Johnson, I represent District 3. Dylan Worsley, I represent District 2.
William Ellis represent District 4.
And Evelyn Wilson represent District 1. I have the sign-up sheet. We have 3 minutes each for those who will be speaking. And before we get into that part, we will have an overview from Attorney Nicholas, who has worked with us so long, and so she comes back whenever we need her. She works for Barrington and Smith, a law firm in Raleigh. So, Deborah, if you would like to give your overview.
I need this. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. Just want to give a brief overview for those of you who have not been following this as closely over the last year and a half or 2 years. As a result of the county line demerger that was the legislation passed by the North Carolina General Assembly, the Edgecombe County Board of Education is required to adjust its voting districts for board members to ensure that each district has substantially equal population. This is because there were over 9,000, almost 10,000 people added to the population of votes for board members with the addition of the Rocky Mount area into Edgecombe County Public Schools. This process has to be completed by December 1st, 2025, when opening of the filing opening for the next year's board election candidates. Since August of last year, there's been a series of informational presentations at the board's regular monthly meetings, and the board's also had multiple work sessions about redistricting. Before any maps were prepared, the board sought public input about communities of interest. The board's also received public comment about the redistricting process at many of its regular board meetings. All of these have been open to the public, and all the presentations that have been made available to the public at the meetings and online. The board selected guiding criteria for this redistricting process, and using those guidance and that criteria, the demographer that I've been working with, his name is Blake Esselstyn, initially developed at the board's request 3 different redistricting options. Each one of those options prioritized a different set of criteria. After the board reviewed those alternatives, they requested additional maps to consider and review. All of these presentations, all of the guiding criteria and the draft maps have been made available to the public and posted on the website. Last month, the board chose 2 of the draft redistricting maps out of the 5 that they've considered for further consideration and public input. Maps of these 2 plans, which are option C and option D2, which are the maps right over here, have been posted online, and these hard copies have been copies of these in this large format have been displayed in various sites around the county. Option C was developed to prioritize communities of interest that were identified by members of the public and submitted to the district That was a process that took place last December into January. The other map, option D2, is the last map that was developed, and it was based on the Edgecombe County Commissioners districts with some changes that were requested by the board. So the outline started with the commissioner districts, and then adjustments were made primarily to District 5 and to ensure that no two board members were in the same district. So tonight is the second of 4 community meetings that the board's holding in order to get additional input before the board will adopt its final redistricting map. And that will likely take place in July or August. We now will hear from members of the public who signed up to speak. And as Dr. Wilson said, each speaker will have 3 minutes. We ask that you introduce yourself and give your address, where you're from before you begin. And again, just to remind you, there will be 2 more community meetings on June 24th at D.S. Johnson Elementary School and on June 30th at Southwest Edgecombe High School. And this will also begin at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Because the speakers right there. It's because the speakers right there.
Okay, our first speaker is Roy Gray.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Bryant, Dr. Wilson. I am Roy A. Gray. I live at 611 East Johnston Street here in Tarboro. I'm a 1971 graduate of the North Edgecombe High School. My wife spent over 32 years as a teacher in Edgecombe County. I bring my experience and my knowledge to be able to make sound decisions on the process. I served 22 years on the Tarboro City Council. Me and my wife put 6 children through the Tarboro school system, the old Tarboro school system. I've worked for the Board of Education here in Edgecombe County in many elections as a site manager in Rocky Mountain. And a site manager assists the voters in asking questions concerning the ballot and voting procedures. I stress tonight the importance of voting simplicity. Option C will allow communities of interest to stay together. Many times working in the election, when different districts cross lines, sometimes voters are confused and they come to the polling place to vote for a particular individual. When they get to the polling place, that individual name is not on their ballot. It causes confusion. A lot of them leave. A lot of them are frustrated. So the more community that we hold together, that means that our neighbors and the people that we go to church with and the people that we see in the grocery stores, we will be voting for the same representative on the school board. So tonight, I'm asking the board to please consider option C. This will keep communities of interest together. Thank you, board, for your transparency. Thank you for having these public hearings, and thank you for listening. God bless you.
Now, Freedom.
Good. Hello, everyone. My name is Alfreda Perkins. I'm Edgecombe County Democratic Chair. I work with the school demerger community redistricting working group. We're concerned about our children and their welfare, their growth in education. I live at 5337 US Highway 64, alternate east. I'm just below Canida, within on the outskirts of the city limits. I consider myself a part of the community because this is where I vote. Pay my water bill there as well. The working group strongly believes option C is the best choice for respecting communities of interest in Edgecombe for the school board districts. Option C is the one we prefer, and it is because the choice of respecting communities of interest for Canida community, which is a small town located southeast corner of Edgecombe County, which borders Pitt County. There are several communities outside of Canida that surround the town limits and recognize themselves as part of the community. Option C places the town of Canida and the surrounding communities in School Board District 3. The entirety of District 3, including communities and towns like Florence, Speed, Princeville, and Mildred, are communities of interest for the Canida area. Map D2, however, splits the Canida community at the town limits between the school board members, Ellis and Worsley, diluting the area's representation on the school board. When multiple people represent the same community, it's often hard for people to know who represents them and who to hold accountable. Option D2 is also hard for campaigning, running for office, and for voting information when the city limits and part of the surrounding community has a representative and another area has a different representative and district. Map option D2 splits the Canida community between two districts at the town limits on the opposite side, west of town. Part of the Edgecombe County needs a strong Canida community and our students and citizens living in the southeastern part of Edgecombe County needs a strong voice. The redistricting of the school system is not just an event that will affect our immediate future. It will affect years to come with the Board of Education, which they owe to the citizens the right to be able to look forward to the kids being educated. So we humbly ask you to vote for option C. Thank you so much for having me.
Good evening. I am Councilwoman Deborah Jordan of the town of Tarboro. I represent Ward 6. I am a member of the School Demerger Community Redistricting Working Group. My neighborhood and district is District 2 for the Edgecombe County School. I believe that option C is the best map for redistricting. Map C fairly represents our communities of interest in Edgecombe County School Board. I am asking that the board, the board, vote for option C. Thank you for the board's transparency during this redistricting process. Thank you for hosting public meeting. Not so long ago, the town of Tarboro tasked to vote on the map that best represent our community. Since 2012, as an elected official, I've heard discussions concerning the Edgecombe County School Board did not have all communities fairly represented. The communities all want to work with their representatives to share concerns and to have their representative reciprocate information. This is why I support MAP C. As an elected official, I appreciate the opportunity to support the people, not only on the talk, but especially in my ward with their concerns. And it's important to me and it should be important to the Board of Education to pass on fairly representative someone that you can go to when you need something. I currently have grandchildren coming through, and I want them to be able to have the best opportunity at a great education. I appreciate all the work that you do. I appreciate all the teachers that are working so hard in our school system. I would most appreciate if you, the school board, would vote for that seat. Thank you.
Richard Joyner.
Madam Speaker and Board, let me thank you for your hard work that you have put in making this a complete system and informative and transparent. I am the pastor of Canida Missionary Baptist Church and the founder of Canida Family Life Center in Canida. I would not be redundant. Our Democratic chair has spoke well on why we support MAP-C for Canida. My address is 1821 Duncan Street. I am Ward 3 chairperson. I'm Ward 3 chair of the City Council in Rocky Mount. I do support MAP-C because it keeps our communities united, especially around the Canida area, Princeville, Mildred, Speed, Lawrence, and the other communities. But coming to my community, which is the Rocky Mount community, Berkshire, Southeast Rocky Mount, MAP-D creates the same problem. MAP-D 2 split the precinct 12-2 and cut off Berkshire, Brownview, Cokie Swamp neighborhood from the Southeast Rocky Mount neighborhood. Option C, keep all those communities together. It is the same district, which includes almost all precinct 12-2. Again, I ask you to select option C because it keeps the critical communities of interest together across Edgecombe County. Let me thank you for voting for the community unity. Thank you.
Please, Bernice Knight. I'm sorry, I probably. Is it Bryce?
Bryce,
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board members, and any other officials represented here or still assembly. My name is Bryce Knight. I was born in Edgecombe General Hospital, raised in the East Tarboro community during the separate but unequal era. I currently live at 1112 Edmondson Avenue, there in East Tarboro. I currently work as a substitute teacher in the ECPS system, and I also work with a community development corporation whose objectives are to enhance and enrich the quality of life of individuals and the community in which we all live. Now, the complex issues of the school board demerger and redistricting for the new all-county school district can be rather perplexing for a layperson like myself. So I do not stand here with the intent to recite detailed data without specific percentages to you. There are more knowledgeable people here, as we've heard, that will and can do that. A lot more so than I can. In times long since past, decisions were made likely without the best interests of the students, their schools, families, or fairness in mind. Even a fifth grader in one of my Carver elementary classes knows that fairness is important, particularly if he or she has been deprived of it, as have many of the schools and the communities in the existing system that has been over time. But now we have here an opportunity to build a great system that brings us all to the table, to build constituencies that will actually support the changing landscape of DCPS over the whole county and help bring about improvements and the much needed resources that is or should be the objective and goals of this process. Option C provides the righteousness and the fairness that addresses the Black voting age population across districts by avoiding high numbers of Black population that will be prevalent in D2 option. Any saturation of Black population in the high 80 percentiles is simply not fair or righteous. D2 will regrettably establish those members in District 1 and 3 and lessen the voting impact of residents in surrounding districts and likely make it improbable that they get the best representation for their communities. My good friends, unlike the time mentioned earlier in this cogitation, this time around we must respect the communities and make it our business to have and keep the best interests of our children, their families, and their communities in mind. That is in and of itself a way to enrich and enhance the quality of life where it is most needed. Thank you. I encourage you to vote for option C and stand for the righteousness that it represents and show the county and its residents where you stand. Thank you.
Doris, please.
What, my fourth or fifth time before you? I promise I'm very short tonight. My name is Doris Stead, reside at 1816 Lake Drive. I'm part of Precinct 1-3. I've been on this journey with you all since 2024 and want to thank you. I really want to thank you and appreciate your giving your time and your effort to adequately develop an effective demerger plan to bring 9,800 residents, including 1,700 students, into the Edgecombe County public school system. Thank you. That was a big challenge, and you are meeting me well. I also want to appreciate the attorneys and the demographer who patiently surveyed our needs and expectations and presented 4 options for our consideration and final selection. Considering these options, the information and the preferences expressed since the fall of 2024, I am now convinced that option C is the best option for our students, our families, our neighborhoods, our county, our state, our nation, and most of all, our future. You've done a good job. I recommend and feel like the community that I've been a part of with community enrichment, transporting students, option C embraces the theory of community. Thank you.
Oh.
Hey, no problem whatsoever. Just have a fun. Oh, yeah, that's no problem. My name is Holder
Well, people do get it wrong quite often, so I've been called so many things that don't bother me. I live at 505 Lincoln Road in Tarboro, and I'm in the 5th district. I support and advocate for option C because of the continuity that it depicts, and I think it's what the community at large would like. Look, I didn't write a big speech like everybody else. I feel kind of involved, but I got a couple of things here. It doesn't divide the district, and it keeps the municipalities together. And so that's so important. I strongly advocate for option C. Now, this is what I'm for. I live in District 5. In fact, I am a councilman for Ward 1, which encompasses part of District 5. In fact, Austin Pine, Brentwood, and Oklahoma State are part of my ward. My ward is very diverse. Austin Pine is upper, as far as economic, upper income. Where I live, moderate income. Oklahoma State, people are less fortunate. I also cover Cambridge Commons, which is also an upper income area. Beechwood, Rankin Avenue, also upper middle class. And in addition, Pioneers Home, which is subsidized by HUD, also other apartment complexes, which are lower income individuals. I said all that to say this. I have a real concern about D2. And if I'm correct, what the information is correct, they skip Brentwood and Oklahoma State, jumping across because you have Austin Pine, and you come down to my neighborhood, Brentwood, and then Oklahoma State, and then you go to what is it, Barn, not Barn, I always want to say Barn Hill, but it's Barrington Wood, thank you. But my areas are skipped, and I don't know why. My guess is to try to help someone maintain their seat. But I think it's gerrymandering. Okay, and I think it's you can disguise maintaining a racial distribution by calling it economic commonality, but I think that's what it is. So option C, and I really don't think that where it is District 5 is legal.
Barbara Brown.
Bob Brown, 1829 Bedford Road. I'm actually in the Meadowbrook area, but not the Tarboro area, but because I'm new to Tarboro, less than 5 years, to Edgecombe County, less than 5 years, and I don't have a child, people think that you really shouldn't be concerned. And I think that it has nothing to do with whether you have a child or not, or what area you're in. You're all Edgecombe, we should be supporting each other. I am a part of the redistricting community, and I just like to say that since I've been working with it, I didn't know who my representatives were. I didn't know what my district were. Where I live, most people are going, I don't have a child. I have no need to be involved. And I think you have even more of a need to be involved. It is still your county. These are still your representatives. I ask that you vote for option C, and you'll see me again when you get to the next council. That is my neighborhood, and we can talk about it.
James Green.
Good evening, board. Good to see you all again. Thanks for being here and continuing this public hearing process. Ms. Redistricting. My name is James Wren, live at 704 NC 97 East in Leggett. I'm the Democratic Precinct Chair, 5-1. I've been a resident of Edgecombe County for over 45 years and the proud parent of these two graduates of Edgecombe County Public Schools. During this process, map option C was designed by the demographer within the guidelines required of using census blocks to keep communities of interest together as provided by the public input across the county. Is it too loud?
Back up a little bit,
Back
Papa.
up from the speaker.
Okay. As provided by public input across the county, community members who have spoken before this board are pleased with map option C. As an alternative, board members requested a map option D to preserve the configuration of the Edgecombe County Commissioners districts while not pairing incumbents in the same district. Then, not satisfied with map option D, some board members requested a map option D2 that would intend to address divided communities in Rocky Mountain, as well as retain more constituents of the current District 5 and the new District 5. Tonight, I'd like to address option D2. This map in particular did pick up more current District 5 residents in the northern part of Tarboro Precinct 1-4 out of District 2 and put them into the proposed District 5, and consequently shifted most of Leggett Precinct 5-1 into District 2, thus splitting Leggett from Whitakers and Brattleboro in this scenario, which we oppose. And this was done to put more of the current incumbents' constituents into the new District 5. But as for the other stated objective of D2, communities of interest in Rocky Mountain are not unified by D2 because Meadowbrook and Edgemont are split in D2, whereas they are together in option C. Option D2 further moves away from the current county commissioner districts. Only one school board district, District 4, will align with a county commissioner district under D2. Furthermore, the county commissioner districts are also burdened by two districts with high black voting population that we should avoid in this redistricting process. To that point, in D2, District 3 has over 82% black voters. It comes out of Rocky Mountain, encompassing no whole precincts. It thinly snakes out into the county like a salamander. Are you sure? I think I was 3 minutes. I'm counting 4. It wasn't 3 minutes. It started too soon. You didn't give me credit. I had to back off.
You should get about two more meetings. Should get about 2 more minutes.
I'm thinking I'm reading this. I'm not sure. Stephanie or the Lane, Brian, the name.
Just tell them what happened recently. I'm gonna stand up here. And that way I can see everybody.
Good evening, everybody. I'm glad to see everybody who did come out and says, thank you guys, thank you so much for what you've been doing. This is getting close to the end of the process that you have been working on for so very long. I am a lifelong resident of Edgecombe County. I went to school when school was Tarboro City Schools. I survived Tarboro City Schools and then we made the transition to Edgecombe County Public Schools and survived that as a teacher. 45 years ago this very week, and there's a classmate of mine in here, but we graduated from Tarboro High School. I have had 48 first days of school in my life. I taught 30 plus years, and after I retired, I started to sub, and I ended up with my sub time mostly at Tarboro High School until my mom needed me more than substitute needed me. Since then, in my retirement, I've been retired now for a year. Since my retirement, started out taking care of my mom, substituting, but the whole sense of community, wherever I go, because of how I went to school, taught school, I have either had people that my parents went to school with, they were born and raised here, people I went to school with, their parents I knew. Now, kids that I taught have their babies that I call, when they post on Facebook, they're having a child, my grand students. I have several grand students, and what I love about Facebook is I keep up with my kids. And Willie and Roy, yours are some of my babies. They'll always be my babies, they know that. Sense of community that you create in the classroom throughout all these years and ages, not only is something that so many kids need, and to know people that they go to school with. Option Z, to me, is where I think you guys need to go, just so that we have that same sense of community. We have one person representing one area. I said, lifelong resident of Edgecombe County. I have now lived in Kennewick for 33 years. So after taking care of my mom and my mom passed, I wasn't bored at all because I could entertain myself all day long in the dirt, in the old house, and flowers, whatever. But I helped run the commissioner for the town of Kennewick. I did that for 2 years. I'm the mayor of the town of Kennewick and the town manager as well. One thing that we have been doing in the last 4 years is doing everything we can to address all opportunities to bring things in for our community, not just in town limits, but out. And I think Option C would do the same thing in Douglas.
Thank you very kindly. All the speakers that have signed, all the speakers that signed up, we call their names out and you have spoken. And we thank you very, very much for coming out and participating. And we have 2 more sessions like what I'm going, that ends our meeting.
Because what it is,
It don't sound like that.
that they don't so now they got to rock it up.
Have a good one. You do the same.
After you jump, yeah,
They'll talk about it.
same thing.
Okay.
You know, we're just trying to get them.
Right.